Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Indica Observer. Today, we are diving into some serious news coming out of India. The central government just dropped a major advisory telling media outlets to stop live coverage of defense operations. So, yeah, no more real time updates on military movements or military operations. And you would ask why? Well, it's all about the national security, right? And trust me, this isn't just some random rule. They're doing this for a reason, especially after the recent Pahalgam terrorist attack. So let's break it down step by step and talk about why this matters, what's going on behind the scene, and what it all means. First off, let's talk about the media ban, right? The Indian Ministry of Information and Broadcasting issued a clear directive: no live telecast of defense operations or security forces movement. So, this isn't about silencing the media, it's about protecting the country. Live coverage can accidentally leak sensitive information to hostile groups like terrorists or enemy states who could use it to their advantage. And imagine broadcasting exactly where the soldiers are and moving and what strategy they are using. That's basically handing the enemy a playbook, right? So we don't want to do that. And now this move makes total sense when you think about the Pelgam's attack recently. For those who still don't know, Pelgam, which is a town in Kashmir, was recently hit by a brutal terrorist attack, and India is getting up to respond. And the last thing they need is every move being televised. If the media is showing the live footage of, let's say, the troops' deployment or bases being prepared, it could tip off the bad guys. And by keeping things quiet, India can plan and act without the enemy knowing what's coming. It's like playing chess. You don't show your opponent what your next move is. And just an FYI, chess was invented in India. If you look in the past, we can see why this is such a big deal. Remember the Kargil War in 1999? Media outlets were broadcasting live events, sometimes revealing troop positions and supply routes. That information reached Pakistani forces, making it harder for India to gain the upper hand. And same thing happened in the Mumbai 2611 attacks in 2008. TV channels showed live footage of commandos moving into the Taj Hotel and other sites. Terrorists inside were watching those broadcasts, getting real time updates on where the forces were. It was basically crucial information being handed to the attackers on a big plate. But India has learned from that, and this ban is about making sure that history doesn't repeat itself. And here's the legal side of it, right? Live coverage of defense operation actually violates the cable television networks rule of 2021. These rules are in place to regulate what media can broadcast, especially when it comes to sensitive information like national security. Now, while the central government has tightened live telecast, that doesn't mean the forces have gone radio silent. On X.com, the Indian Army posted a video with a powerful message: always prepared, ever vigilant. Let's watch that 30-second clip. All right, that was a cinematic video. Similarly, the Indian Navy put out power in unity, presence with purpose. These aren't just random posts, right? These are subtle, calculated messages to the nation and to the world that India is watching, India is planning, and India is ready. What's even more interesting is that what's happening around India. Now, there is information in public domain that U.S. Air Force and Israeli aircraft has landed their aircrafts in Jaipur. We don't have official confirmation yet, but it's out there in open, and it's got people talking. Now, could this mean international support for India's next steps? Maybe. And to add to that, Russia has issued a advisory telling its citizens to avoid traveling to Pakistan until further notice. That's not something Moscow does lightly. It's a sign that the situation is being watched globally and things are being taken seriously even by countries that don't often comment on South Asia's internal conflicts. And then there is Tulsi Gabbard, right? The director of national intelligence in United States. She didn't mince her words. She came out in full support of India and said that those responsible for the Pahalgam incident must be hunted down. And she called it exactly what it is, an Islamist terrorist attack. But here's where the Western media disappoints us yet again, right? Outlets like Washington Post, the New York Times, Euro News, and Deutsche Welle, which is DW, chose to use watered down, politically correct language. They're tiptoeing around it using words like gunmen, militants, etc. Gunmen? Seriously, well, call it what it is, right? The attackers were terrorists. The House Foreign Affairs Committee majority GOP on X even clapped back at New York Times, posting a picture of their article, striking out militants word and writing it terrorist in red. And that's the energy we need, right? The New York Times needs to stop with the politically correct nonsense and report what the truth is. Hiding behind neutral words doesn't help anyone. It just muddies the water. Uh, and let's talk about Pakistan's response to all this, right? Because it's a mess. Their Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is suddenly calling for a neutral and transparent investigation into Pahalgam's attack. Sounds reasonable, right? Well, except not long ago, Pakistan was accusing India of staging the whole thing. Talk about flip flop. And let's not forget, this is the same Pakistan whose then foreign minister Bilawal Bhutto said rivers of blood will flow when India suspended Indus Water River Treaty. And the same Pakistan whose defense minister warned of an all out war over recent Pahalgam's attack in Kashmir. So, is it a case that when the threats don't work, suddenly it's time for neutrality and diplomacy? There's serial global pressure on Pakistan right now. In my previous video, I talked about how the UN, the US, Russia, European countries like UK and France are backing India on this. And that's a lot of heavy hitters. Pakistan feeling the heat and their leaders' mixed messages aren't helping their case at all. And so what happens next? Well, here's my analysis. India is not rushing, and that's a good thing, right? The government is being smart, silent, and they're trying to be very strategic. What we are seeing right now is a build up, not in public but behind closed doors. This isn't about chest thumping. It's all about real consequences for those responsible. And whether it's a diplomatic strike or a surgical strike like we have seen before from India, or a mix of both, India is letting the world know that we will not forget Pahalgam, and when the time is right, there will be a response. One that won't need me to narrate it. The results will speak for themselves. And before I sign off today, I just want to say thank you for being here. This channel is about truth and about breaking things down so we all get to know what's going on. If you liked this video, smash that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be keeping you posted on this situation. And until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep observing. See you next time.